Hi, welcome to Life on Bear Mountain. My name's Tina, this is Mike, and Mike's a plumber, and today I'm helping him install a water heater so I can show you guys how a professional puts in a 40-gallon water heater inside the house. And so we're going to just do it step
40-gallon gas water heater.
A 40-gallon gas water heater. So
just a water heater, not a hot water heater. Everybody always calls them hot water heaters.
Take two.
Let's do it.
There's a water heater right there.
Yeah, you can kind of tell on this water heater it was not done professionally. What they did is looks like they got a gas pipe running from the TMP down. I sure hope it ain't hooked to the gas. We'll find out.
Is this natural gas?
Yeah, it's a natural gas water heater. So whoever did this was just probably a homeowner, would be my guess. Or a plumber that didn't have the right stuff on their truck.
We're up in the mountains, and a lot of times a lot of the plumbers here are not equipped to bring everything they need to do a job. We have a super big box truck that's loaded with everything, so it really helps.
And this water heater definitely needs to be replaced. You can kind of tell it's shot. It's old. It's probably about 15 years old. So it definitely needs to be done.
It's a little harder to put them inside the house because you have to put a pan, and you're going to do it rigid, right? This is connectors right up here.
Yeah, you don't really want to, inside a house, you don't want to use these water connectors because they can get pinholes in them, and it could do a lot of damage to the house. So we'll hook this thing up to where it's all rigid piping, so that there's less chance of anything happening.
Okay.
So the first thing we do is we want to drain the water heater. To drain the water heater, you hook a hose to it. There's usually a bib on the bottom of the heater there. You go ahead and you open that up. First thing you do is shut the water off. And then you put a hose to there, you open that up. And then the water heater won't drain until you let air into the top of the heater. So you could have it all day. A lot of people will hook it up thinking they're draining their water heater. They're not. So you got to get up here and disconnect. And I always disconnect the hot water line because that lets the air into the top of the water heater. The cold water line has a dip tube in it, so it doesn't work as well. And you can kind of hear it go right now, so you know that you're draining the water heater. Okay. And then it usually takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to get it to drain.
Okay, it is draining well. A lot of times there's a lot of sediment in the water heater, which makes it almost impossible for it to drain. What do you do while you're waiting for that to drain so we're not wasting?
You want to shut the gas off. On this particular water heater here, there's got an old style gas cock. We'll replace that because you can't really get to it. So we'll put a brand new one on. It makes it easier for the customers if they ever have to shut the gas off. And then as it's draining, that's when we usually do our disconnecting of everything. They did a real bad job strapping it.
We'll put new ones on. Woo!
On the earthquake brackets, there's two different ways to have them. This one here wraps around the water heater twice because they didn't put the water heater up against the wall. I don't like using this style. Mine, basically, I push the water heater all the way to the wall, and then I just have one strap on each side that bolts to the center. It's a lot better of a way to do it, in my opinion. This relief line drain where they did it gas, that should go all the way down and to the outside of the house. And so we're probably going to have to get underneath the house, unfortunately, and do it because I know they just drilled it under the house. So we're going to find out here real quick if I can get it to unscrew. If it was going all the way to the outside of the house, you would never be able to unscrew that piece. So that's all they did, is they just drilled it under the house, and they figured, okay, that's good enough. The problem with doing it that way is this thing here can leak, and it could leak underneath your house for months and months and months, and you have no idea, and it could wreck your foundation and everything else. And I understand, nobody wants to crawl underneath the house to, yeah, that's what they did.
Oh, look at that.
So they just put it to where it goes right underneath the house. Yeah, so we're gonna have to go underneath the house, unfortunately, and run a copper line from here all the way out, which sucks. That adds another hour to the job.
He says we, but he means him. I'm not going underneath
Well,
the
you
house.
gotta hand you everything.
I'll hand him things, but I am not going underneath the house. I've been underneath the house. They're not. It's not fun. It's not pretty either. Okay, so the water heater is drained, and Mike's getting ready to pull it out of here. This is 40 gallons, so it's not too bad. And Mike's strong.
Boy, look at the top of that one. That's like really corroded. It's freshly painted, so we don't want to scar any walls. Okay, what we're doing now is just getting rid of all the old junky copper that's on there. All right. The old gate valve, now we use ball valve. So this thing is so frozen you'd never even be able to shut the water off if you had to in an emergency situation. So a little bit of water in there, so it's taking a little bit of time to... There we go. The hot bowl comes out. And this is a MIP adapter on the other side that we're going to hook up direct so we don't use those. And heat it up, get the solder off. And we're ready to solder on new stuff.
Okay, while he's getting the area prepped, what I do when I come along is I will go ahead and clean the fittings. And so what that means is I will take sandcloth. This is sandcloth. What I do is I have this little brush thing, and this is kind of an important thing. I think a lot of plumbers skip this part. The good ones don't. And you just clean the inside of the fitting. And I still take the sandcloth and just clean it up too. So when he's soldering, everything's going to have a nice clean surface to adhere to, and we should not have any leaks. Okay, I'm in my car and I'm in the parking lot of Home Depot, and guess what? We always have our parts. We pride ourselves of having everything in our truck, and Mike did not have a small 22-inch water heater pan. Normally he does, I think, 24 and 26 or 28. But this one, it's a tight spot. He has to have a small water heater pan in there. So it's a half an hour drive, and so I'm coming down here to pick up. I'm going to pick up 2 of them and maybe pick up some lunch too, so at least we can eat on the job site. So hopefully they'll have it here. What a bummer. Anyway, he's still working on other things there. They had other things they wanted him to do at the job. So the water heater is on hold, and I'll get that water heater pan and off we go. Okay, so I'm back with the new water heater pan. This is the one we brought. So this is the 24-inch water heater pan, and it's just not going to work. It won't fit. So the 22 is the one I had to go into town to get. So that does fit good, but I think we're still going to have some problems. This was supposed to be kind of an easy install, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that easy. Okay, so you're getting ready to drill a hole for that PVC 90. And that's for the
TMP,
TMP?
temperature pressure blow off.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Backyard.
so that one's done. There we go. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're cutting what the
Unistrut to raise the water heater. 11 3/4.
So it's the pilot cover that is going to be hitting the pan.
So we got to raise it up.
So how
Unfortunately.
you're going to do how many? Couple of them?
No, that's it there.
Okay.
That was only off by like a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch.
Okay, now he's putting in or screwing the straps into the wall, and they have to be drilled into the studs. You've done the measurements and everything. This is the last one. How many times have we gone to a job where the straps are just kind of screwed in,
All the time here.
and there was no stud? You could just
Put it in the drywall.
and you could just pull it out with your hand. Okay, so they're ready to go. So that's done. It'd be nice we get this sucker in here. So where
Okay, now let me see your other hand over here.
where do you want it?
Right here, we got to hold hands. Over here, okay? And then we're gonna go straight up, just like that. Okay.
Let me get my arm out. Okay.
Yes.
Come on, the gas line. That's not good. Okay, it's in. And hopefully now, should I get that cover to make sure it's going to fit?
Yeah.
Hopefully it fits.
Yay.
Wow, that's really close, but it did clear it just barely, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, we're replacing the gas valve. And how old do you think that gas valve?
I don't know.
Looks like an
The
antique.
house probably was built in the 70s.
It's a real good safety thing to do, just to replace that.
Yeah, you want to be able to shut the gas off. Okay, so that's that. So we put the earthquake strap on now.
You're soldering now the valve on.
You always want to apply the solder on the opposite end where you put the heat. So the solder will automatically flow for that heater.
So how many years, Mike, do you think you've been doing this?
Well, when I started in high school, so 18 to what, I'm 61.
You never really say that you're a master plumber, though. I know I hear people throw that name out all the time.
Just a plumber, trying to make a living. So basically what it is, it has a plastic sleeve right there. So when that union comes down on there, that copper is completely protected with that bushing. So there's no metal touching the water heater at all. Okay, so let's go in there and start it there. Ooh, that's hot.
Now you're connecting the new gas line to the water heater.
The gas lines are, you know, they're under pressure, and anytime you have anything under pressure, it kind of can cause moisture. And so if there's any sediment inside that line, this is what they call the sediment trap. It will just catch it. This is just something that old-time plumbers do. The new plumbers won't usually put this in. It's probably not necessary.
Okay, so the other end is capped, and that's why you call it a trap.
Yeah, so any moisture that gets into this system, it'll go down through here instead of going into that valve, or any kind of sediment. But yeah, it's something that, you know, a code does require it, but a lot of people don't do it.
Okay, so that's what it looks like then. And he's going to turn the gas on. Now to light it. Should hear a poof.
Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, it's on. Why isn't it? Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Oh man, it take a long time to get that little blink. Okay. Okay, now under the house.
We're getting there. We're getting close.
Ooh, look at those good solder joints.
Okay, now to do the under the house bit.
Boom, 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 boom.
I'll clean up this once you get underneath the house. I have to hand you some stuff, I know. Okay, so that's what he has to do. And I'll go on the other side. I don't even know if there's enough room to do any of that. Down. That. Okay, so there's that. Is that big enough? Oh. Ugh. Okay.
I need a 90 and a couple of blue.
Okay, the last finishing touches. Gluing that on.
Okay.
And then the other one's the water pan. And solder. And I think we're almost done. I just have to clean up, right?
That's the worst part.
That's my job. I'm only smiling because we're almost done. We're done, right?
Yay, all
We're
done.
done. You want to talk real quick why it was so hard underneath the house? What you had
Yeah,
to-
because there's no room. There's like some of these homes that you crawl under, they give you like 1.5 feet of space that you got to crawl on your back in order to do it. Tina wouldn't record it because it was F this, F that. It's all done. It's all good.
I want to make this a PG video.
PG
Anyway, you guys, if you like this type of video, I can go along with Mike and I think he'd love me helping you again, right? I used to do
Makes
it
it
all.
go quicker.
Yeah, I used to help you all the time. But if you like these kind of videos, let us know, and we'll do more videos on just what what a plumber does out in a
A
mountain.
mountain plumber.
It's a mountain community. It's a mountain plumber. It's completely different. This is completely different than what you would normally do in the city. Because you were in the city for how many years? Like 30?
Oh yeah, it's just like the city was wonderful. You just pull up into the garage, the water heater's right there, just boom, you're done.
Yeah, it was a lot easier. So, all right. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.